Welcome to Overthinking Eurovision. I'm Matt Rather. You know, there are songs that probably don't need to be overthought. There are songs that appear simple but hide surprising complexity. And then there are the songs that sit in the front of the class with their arm up in the air saying, oh, me, pick me, overthink me.
Meghan Markle,
This was by far the most requested song in the comments section this year, and it's easy to see why. We could spend a whole video just talking about the first 2 seconds. But first things first, the Serbian singer Konstrakta was part of an indie pop band called Zemlja Gruva, and even tried out for Eurovision in 2008 and 2009. Wow, what a fun, unchallenging song. But then in 2019, Konstrakta released her first solo work, and it was different. This woman is straddling the line between dance music and performance art, which is a line I didn't even know existed. Her Eurovision entry, in Corpore Sano, is actually just the middle third of a longer music video/art project called Triptych. The first part, Noble, is about the pressure and shame women face as they age. The final part, Mekano, is about the struggle to find a work-life balance. And then there's the story of a couple silently eating many, many pieces of fried chicken. I found this part disturbingly relatable. As for In Corpore Sano, it's definitely about health. Beyond that, Konstrakta is being coy.
I think that the beauty of this song is actually in this multi-layer thing. So everybody can see and hear what they want to see and hear. And that's, at the end, the atmosphere in our society.
We've been mulling over this song day and night, like Jake Gyllenhaal at the end of Zodiac.
The kids miss you.
Can't see me like this.
And we think there are 4 main themes here. 1, the relentless pressure on women to conform to unrealistic beauty standards. 2, the lack of attention paid to mental health issues. 3, Konstrakta's inability to get health insurance. And 4, general pandemic angst.
Meghan Markle.
I have to admit, since both writer-producer Matt and myself are members of the follicularly challenged community, we were unaware that Meghan Markle was famous for her hair. But it turns out that a generation of disillusioned journalism school graduates have spent hundreds of thousands of words talking over the subject. When Konstrakta sings her opening lyrics, she could be reading a headline out of a celebrity magazine like Us Weekly. Hey, do you guys have Us Weekly in Europe? God, I hope not. In this song, she will say the word health like a million times in multiple languages. But right in this opening line, she's letting us know that she really means beauty, or at least the line between health and beauty is getting seriously blurred. Look at some of the other lyrics. But then she says she's only concerned about the enlarged spleen because it's not attractive. Which is ridiculous. Only like 20% of men on Tinder will swipe left on a woman because of the size of her spleen. Now, in the second verse, she talks about doing something that's actually healthy. Good for her. But then she puts it into the context of what she's wearing. She's always aware of how she appears to others, even when she's doing something that's just for herself and her dog. This is a picture of my dog, by the way. So that's theme number 1, how women fixate on beauty and mistake it for actual health. Now let's go back to the beginning to see the cost of that fixation. And now, let's put our thing down, flip it, and reverse it. First of all, Konstrakta. Do you want to raise the dead? Because chanting Latin backwards is how you raise the dead. Everybody bring a chainsaw to Turin just in case. Mens enfermos in corpore sano translates to sick mind in a healthy body. This is a twist on a famous quote from the Roman poet Juvenal, mens sana in corpore sano, which means healthy mind in a healthy body. In the original context, Juvenal isn't suggesting which is more important. He's just saying that health is the only thing worth praying for. But through the centuries, mens sana in corpore sano has been used to suggest a relationship between body and mind. Usually that you need physical fitness to stay mentally sharp. In a 1950 speech, U.S. President Harry Truman said, "We must have a good healthy body if we're going to have a good healthy mind." The sneaker company ASICS takes its name from a slight variation on the quote, anima sana in corpore sano, a healthy soul in a healthy body. According to their corporate website, the words made a deep impression on Mr. Onitsuka, inspiring his dedication to making athletic shoes with the aim of nurturing healthy young people through sports. But this song begins with sick mind in a healthy body, and that sense of wrongness is compounded by putting the whole thing in reverse.
I thought good news.
With that context, we can take another look at the title, In Corpore Sano. That's the second half of the proverb, and only the second half of the proverb. This is a song about someone obsessed with their own warped idea of physical health, to the point that their mental health isn't even in the picture. And this snippet of audio right at the top is a J.J. Abrams-style clue about what's going on. The music video gives us another big clue. Konstrakta covers the top of her head with blue paint as if to highlight her inner sickness. This is basically a Zoloft commercial. The constant hand washing goes from being good hygiene to disturbingly obsessive. Her worries about spots around her lips seem like hypochondria, and when she starts giving thanks that her heart beats automatically,
Velika je sreća što postoji autonomni nervni sistem.
it's pretty clear this woman needs help, and not just hair-related help. At the very end of the song, she has a moment of revelation.
Korpus je sano, I šta ćemo sad?
And then she spells it out even more by singing 4 lines of hard truth, but obscures the meaning by singing them in Latin.
Mens inferma in corpore sano, animus tristis in corpore sano, mens desperata in corpore sano, mens contrarita in corpore sano.
By the way, as far as we can tell, nobody has ever sung in Latin at Eurovision. Jet Bartlett is probably thrilled.
CJ, on your tombstone, it's going to read post hoc ergo propter hoc.
Okay, but none of my visitors are going to be able to understand my tombstone.
But why the Latin for just these 4 lines? Well, going back to that title, this song is not just about what Konstrakta says, but also about what she doesn't say. Her mental sickness is something she can't put into words, at least not words in her own language. The fact that it's Latin specifically might have several meanings. It's the language of Catholicism, so it could indicate that her sickness is spiritual, contrasting with the vernacular Serbian she uses to describe her body. It's also a language associated with scholarship and medicine, giving these lines the weight of a diagnosis. And it ties back to the original Juvenal proverb, maybe in an updated version for a disturbed modern society. Okay, it seems like we're developing a theory here. The singer is ignoring her mental sickness and focusing only on superficial beauty. But there's another theme we haven't discussed yet, Konstrakta's identity as an artist and the risk to her health that brings.
Umetnica može biti zdrava.
Notice that she refers to herself as an artist, not as a musician or a singer. In an interview with a Croatian newspaper, Konstrakta said this line was a deliberate reference to the performance artist Marija Abramović, a fellow Serb who is famous for grueling pieces which often require her to repeat the same actions for hours or days. Specifically, Konstrakta is riffing on Abramović's 1975 piece, Art Must Be Beautiful, Artist Must Be Beautiful. As the artist herself described it, I brush my hair with a metal brush in my right hand and simultaneously comb my hair with a metal comb in my left hand. While doing so, I continuously repeat, art must be beautiful, artist must be beautiful, until I destroy my hair and face. It's not a great day to bring your kids to the museum. Konstrakta doesn't go as far as Abramovich and wash her hands until they bleed, although maybe she's saving that for Turin. But the ritualistic repetition is very Abramovich, the transformation of something utilitarian into something abstract and symbolic. So Konstrakta declares herself to be an artist, and then about 2/3 of the way through the song, we learn the downside of being an artist in Serbia. Serbia, like most of the rest of Europe, has some level of socialized healthcare, but artists and other self-employed people are not covered, and Konstrakta is pretty salty about it. Back in February, she posted a photo to her Instagram of her posing with her last valid health insurance booklet. In the song, she gets in a few bitter lines about how the artist is a non-person in the eyes of the state. So although this song is mostly a critique of our superficial society, it also has a very personal axe to grind. And here's one more level of meaning. This is kind of the perfect anthem for the pandemic. The repetition, the important but monotonous daily walks, the constant washing of hands, #relatable. You know what impresses us the most? It's not that she packed all these layers into 3 minutes, it's that she did it in a way that people still want to sing along and dance to. It takes a special kind of chutzpah to send a song to Eurovision criticizing our obsession with hair care when Eurovision's main sponsor is a hair care company. Moroccan Oil is not going to be happy if she wins, but you know what? The rest of us would be pretty okay with it. Good luck, Konstrakta. And for what it's worth, we think your hair looks great just the way it is. We'll see you next time. Ooh, fun fact about Konstrakta. Her stage name is a reference to her background as an architect. We still think it sounds like a good name for a Pokemon.